It is no exaggeration to say that the Republican Party is adopting an extreme position on abortion. Case in point, the state of Texas. On Thursday, Texas's Attorney General Ken Paxton sued the Biden administration for its executive order requiring abortions in medical emergencies. Texas already has one of the strictest abortion laws in the country, banning abortion after 6 weeks, which is before many women even know that they're pregnant. Even under these restrictions, it's a felony to perform an abortion, except to save the life of the mother. But Paxton erroneously called out the federal rules on abortion, saying, quote, the Biden administration seeks to transform every emergency room in the country into a walk-in abortion clinic. As we all know, the Supreme Court upheld Mississippi's abortion ban and ended the constitutional right to an abortion after that same group of justices struck down New York's law restricting the possession of handguns. And for so many of us, that would seem like a blatant double standard. And that's what Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene was asked about.
Protecting our gun rights gives Americans the right to defend themselves, and that protects life. And ending abortion also protects the life of the unborn who can't protect themselves either. So whether we take away guns, we take away Americans' rights to defend themselves. And if we keep abortion like she wants, then we continue to kill innocent people in the womb.
Okay, gibberish word salad aside, for some Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene, abortions and guns, it's kind of all part of the same agenda. So my question is, in a state like Texas, where gun restrictions are loosened and abortion laws are tightened, what are the consequences for the women? Joining me now is Karen Attiah. She's a columnist for The Washington Post, and her latest piece is titled, I Asked About Abortion at a Texas Gun Show. The answer I got was grim. Karen, it's an honor to have you with me today. I have to ask, can you describe what was it like to go to the Fort Worth Gun Show? And how would you even begin to broach the subject of abortion rights with people that are happily attending a Texas gun show?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Katie. I actually went to the gun show to report a completely different piece. And I went to really just see gun culture up close for myself. And this was the day after the Dobbs decision came down. So I went as a single woman, saw families around, saw, AR-15s being sold next to lemon pies and brownies. It was definitely an oddly family-friendly event. And I just started chatting it up with dealers. I wanted to know how business was. And we just got to talking, and I asked them how business was going, basically. And if they'd seen more women or thought that they would see more women perhaps afraid of rape and wanting to find ways to defend themselves in the aftermath of the Dobbs decision. And the answer I got when I asked about rape and abortion was a bit of a joke. The man told me, well, you can't rape a 38. And it just kind of got my gears turning. On one level, it's this notion and this myth, frankly, that women are more safe if they own guns. And there are plenty of studies that have shown that women are much more likely to be killed by a gun that's in their own home than use it to successfully defend themselves. But then I got to thinking about connecting that with pregnant women. And as I started reading and researching after the gun show, stumbling across really grim statistics about pregnant women being killed, and very often those murders being done with firearms. So I think for me, it's really trying to call attention to the fact that maternal pregnancy-related homicide is actually one of the leading causes of maternal death in this country, sadly. So it's this really grim intersection of the myths we have about women's security and safety, interpersonal violence, male violence, frankly, and abortion, and those women who might choose to get an abortion, frankly, because they're afraid of their husbands or boyfriends or partners. They don't want to bring a child into the world with somebody who would abuse them. And so I just wanted to put that out there for us to really think about the intersections of all these, really scary developments in our state.
So, Karen, I urge everybody to go and read your piece, because from it, I'm going to read this section, and we're going to put it up right now. The study conducted by Tulane University researchers revealed that pregnancy-associated homicide rates in 2018 and 2019 were 16% higher than homicides of women who were not pregnant or haven't recently given birth. Homicide beat out hemorrhaging and pregnancy-related hypertension as the top single cause of death. A majority of the slain women were killed with guns, and 2/3 were killed in their homes. Karen, this is exactly that intersection you're talking about. And when you laid it out so clearly in your piece, it was jaw-dropping for me, because this seems like the law of unintended consequences operating here. In a state like Texas, where you have almost non-existent gun restrictions, but hyper-strict abortion laws, that could actually have very grave implications for women. How is this already playing out in a state like Texas?
I mean, it'll be really grim and sad to see what will come of it. Obviously, we know already that providers are turning away women who are seeking prenatal care, even because the chilling effect has already taken effect here. But even before the Dobbs decision, I was reading headlines from Houston in particular about women, young women especially, who had learned that they were pregnant, had told their partners or boyfriends, and ended up shot dead in a car. One of them ended up dead in a field. And so this has been something that frankly has been going on, and not just in Texas, but around the country. And after I wrote the piece and published it, I did hear from women who, confidentially reached out and said that they had secret, abortions because they were afraid of what their partners would do to them and to the child.
Karen, I would be remiss to not pivot while I have you here, because I find this to be a really important issue, and it's obviously temporarily super relevant. I want to pivot quickly to President Biden's trip to the Middle East. He did, and he is in the process right now of meeting with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. MBS, as he's known, is directly implicated in the killing of former Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. You were quite close to Jamal. What do you make of Biden meeting with MBS and the fist bump that we actually saw between the two of them when they greeted each other today?
I mean, it makes me sick to my stomach, honestly. 4 years later, after Jamal was murdered, after I last got to talk to him, it makes me sick to see that, and particularly more sick because Biden explicitly ran on a campaign that he would make Saudi Arabia a pariah. And that he would hold Mohammed bin Salman to account for this, the man who the CIA determined was the mastermind behind the operation that killed Jamal. I think it's a chilling day for all of us. It's a chilling day for us at the Washington Post. It's a chilling day for anybody who is a journalist, frankly, and for anyone who really had any shred of hope that the U.S. still stood for human rights and morals. It really went out the window today. And I know, I would hope that people would take today to read Jamal's work on the Washington Post and read what he stood for. It's a betrayal. That's what I would say.
Karen, thank you for taking that time to share with us your thoughts about your late friend, Jamal Khashoggi. And we need to have you back because I think that your piece on that grim reality that is going to be confronting a lot of women across the United States because of the Dobbs decision, I think it needs to be addressed time and time again. Karen Attiah, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Katie. I appreciate it.